Good evening. I'm J.D. Young, the CEO of YCS and the owner of the X-Cons. You may address me as Mr. Young. However, tonight will be somewhat informal due to the nature of this webcast. As you can see, I have removed my suit coat. I asked Coach Young to replace him tonight so that I can address your questions and the rumors that are circulating around the FFF. To get your questions in, please go to lifewithjustin.com. Your questions will be pre-screened, and I will not be able to get all of them. As I had just stated, I'm here to address some rumors. This rumor is of a closed-door meeting that was to take place between myself and my so-called peers. This meeting was canceled due to league issues, mostly security. The FFF Weekly reporting that it was still on is just flat wrong. It is understandable that you might be hesitant to believe this because of some so-called security video that was posted at lifewithjustin.com/FFF. This third-rate home movie shows someone that looks like me but using abrasive language to a league official and using discouraging words of Mr. Townsend. While Mr. Townsend and I have had our disagreements in the past, we've been respectful to one another, and I would not do such things. I'm here to set the record straight and say that the person in that barely visible video is not me. In this make-believe world, you can hear someone that sounds like Coach DZ for CZ saying something about, "We don't like no snatches up in here, yo." You also can clearly hear someone laughing on this tape. While it does sound like something Coach DZ for CZ would say, this video was clearly a fake. I will now address some of your questions that are rolling in. More drunk than Haas. Mr. Young, Coach Poole severely manhandled the Lions by 107 points this weekend. They should be out for blood after this embarrassment. The Lions, that is. And your team is the next to play. We will be missing 2 starters at running back and 1 wide receiver. They'll just be missing a running back. Do you really think we can win this game? I believe that's a good question, but I have all the faith in the world in Coach Young, the best coach in the FFF. I believe he can win with ease. But let me take a moment to throw a stat out right now. Something I've been vocal about in closed-door meetings with other league officials and owners, along with Coach Young being just as vocal. The Wopat Fan Club scoring breakdown is as follows: plus 18.5 points per defensive player. He also only got 12.5 points per offensive player. This is a ridiculous stat. There is no way in the fantasy football universe that a team's defense should or even could outscore an offense. With that said, I believe this win was mostly luck, and because of that, I believe Coach Poole should have held on to said luck, because in Week 10, the X-Cons will destroy, and I really do mean destroy, the Wopat Fan Club. They are in the gold division, and Coach Young has made a promise and has followed through. Let's get to the next question. Lady Filler. Mr. Young, the X-Cons are now in second place to the Wopat Fan Club. You are only trailing due to point total. They face the Dundee Dolphins this weekend. Is this good news to the ex-Cons? Good news. The ex-Cons and Coach Young are directed to only concern themselves with their upcoming contests. And I believe how they play this year, there is no stopping them. As Coach Young has mentioned in his weekly webcasts, the FFF fans will be chanting the name of the ex-Cons when the season is over. And I will be holding the much-deserved championship trophy I should have been holding for the last 7 years. But to answer your question directly, you can only be number one when you beat number one. And last week, the ex-Cons were the one who beat number one. The Wopat fan club has proven nothing. We'll leave it at that. Next question. Dubious Dave. Mr. Young, Coach Young has been his normal controversial self. How long does this league have to suffer through his antics? Hey, Frank, you're fired. Shelley, read the rest of the questions. The fuck kind of screening is that? I'm going to answer your question anyways, Dubious Dave. Coach Young, while using creative ways to get his point across, isn't the same kind of antics that other coaches in this league use, such as DZ, B-Dub, or Coach Poole. The only coach that isn't controversial in this league is Coach Pifke, and the only reason he isn't controversial is you have to show up to be controversial. If you do have a problem with this controversy, please direct any of your comments or concerns to the league office. Gamertag 27. Mr. Young, in 2 weeks, the ex-Cons are going to be facing Coach B-Dub and the Biff Sports Almanac. They've played very well. Do you think Coach Young has anything up his sleeves to make sure the ex-Cons come away with a W? They are doing fairly well under B-Dub. And probably Coach Young will have to pull something out of his bag of tricks. But he does say repeatedly that Coach Prizo, Coach Young, and Coach B-Dub will be 1, 2, and 3, with Coach Young being number 1. The only way he could actually know that is if he got a hold of the true Biff Sports Almanac, which could be possible. But I know Coach Young, and he definitely will make sure that B-Dub walks away with a loss in Week 6. Next question. This from Crazy Jim 1. I always ask Coach Young, but seeing how I have the CEO here, here's my question. Please fire Dante Culpepper. Well, Crazy Jim, it's not really a question, so not going to give you an answer to a non-question. I will say that the ex-Cons believe, and YCS believes, that it is very important for Dante Culpepper to be within this organization. He's been with this organization since the beginning. We've only not had him a couple years out of that. We do believe he's a very important commodity, and we will make sure that he stays within the organization going through to the end of this year. Now, I'm a busy man. As you can see by these shitty curtains, I'm actually again at a hotel because that's where I spend most of my life. Next week, Coach Young will be rejoining you. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good night.